Man, Anthony Volpe. What a paradox of a ball player. One moment, he's launching a 442-foot moonshot straight into the heart of Yankee Stadium. And you can't help but think, this kid is the real deal. No wonder the hype was sky high. The stadium detonates in thunderous cheers. Fans are on their feet. And for that instant, you remember everything scouts ever whispered about him. Pure, unfiltered talent. A game changer all on his own. And then there's that World Series Grand Slam with the season teetering on the edge. One of those legendary October memories that make the Aaron Judge era feel proud, historic, and alive. These are the plays you carry with you forever. The ones you retell to friends, maybe even to your kids one day. When Volpe connects like that, the baseball universe just clicks into place. But then comes the cruel flip side, because Anthony Volpe also has the maddening ability to twist his brilliance into shared agony. After electrifying moments like those, he vanishes at the plate for weeks, sometimes months, suddenly looking like the weakest hitter in the league. The surreal part. When Yankees hitting coach James Rowson was asked to explain it, he essentially shrugged. In an interview with The Athletic, he admitted there's no real answer. It's not effort. It's not work ethic. It's not talent. Volpe grinds with consistency, but the results simply evaporate. It's not laziness. It's not lack of skill. It's just a mystery. You watch and wonder, what on earth is happening with this kid? And the truth is, nobody, not the coaches, not the fans, not even Volpe himself, has the answer. The irony stings even more when you dive into the numbers. Despite the droughts, the Yankees keep Volpe locked into the lineup. He's one of only 50 players with 1,700 plus plate appearances since 2023. Proof of his resilience, durability, and the organization's lingering faith in him. Yet, here's the gut punch. His OPS sits at the very bottom, .665, the lowest of them all. For context, the second worst is Dansby Swanson at .716. So if it feels like Volpe's been the weakest bat in baseball, it's because he has been. This creates relentless tension in the Bronx, where patience has limits, and every at-bat feels like a trial. The highs are electric, but the valleys are crushing, and that's a brutal diet for a fan base as demanding as Yankee Nation. Meanwhile, the organization is already lining up contingencies. Jose Caballero is taking reps at short, and Volpe's leash grows shorter by the day. Still, Roussen clings to faith. I believe he'll figure it out. The good stretches will stretch longer and longer until the inconsistency is just a footnote. It's blind confidence maybe, but also understandable. Because when Volpe is locked in, he's spectacular, decisive, fearless, capable of swinging an entire game on one swing. The only question, when does brilliance stop being a cameo and start becoming the standard? And it's not just the bat that's faltering. Volpe's defense has plummeted. After winning a Gold Glove as a rookie, his outs above average has cratered to -7, down from +14 last year. Defensive runs saved has free-fallen from 15 in year 1 and 6 in 2024 to just 1 this season. Every dropped play amplifies the offensive struggles, compounding the pressure and making the Bronx Rollercoaster even more dizzying. At the end of the day, Anthony Volpe is the kind of player who makes you fall in love with baseball and lose your mind over it in the same breath. He's dazzling. He's maddening. He's unpredictable. He gives you flashes of magic that remind you why the Yankees still believe, only to vanish into shadows that leave fans holding their breath. If you're a Yankees fan, a season of Volpe is a carnival ride. The euphoric highs that make you leap with joy. The crushing lows that gnaw at your patience. Hearts race, faith wavers, but the fascination never fades. So there it is. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Bronx Rollercoaster, that is Anthony Volpe, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. Do you think Volpe will finally stabilize into the superstar he's meant to be? Or will the saga of highs and lows drag on? Stay tuned, because in the Bronx with Volpe, the drama never ends.
Things have been unraveling at a dizzying pace for the New York Yankees this season, and it feels as though every passing week piles on a fresh layer of exasperation for their fan base. Entering the year, expectations weren't just high. These were stratospheric. The Yankees had retooled their bullpen, aiming to mend one of the glaring deficiencies that plagued the first half of the prior campaign. Optimism was buzzing through the Bronx. The belief was that, with a fortified back end, they could stare down any late-game scenario with confidence. But now, just a few months later, it's painfully evident that the bullpen was never the sole flaw. The fractures within this roster run far deeper than a handful of relievers failing to lock down innings. The starting rotation, which was supposed to serve as the bedrock of stability, has instead become a source of puzzling inconsistency, leaving analysts and fans alike shaking their heads, questioning what exactly has gone wrong in Yankee Stadium. Take Max Fried, for instance. At the outset, he looked untouchable, his fastball carving through lineups, his slider leaving hitters helpless. There were moments where it felt as though he could single-handedly carry the Yankees. But recently, he's been derailed by nagging, injuries, blister issues, and an alarming dip in command that has stripped him of his dominance. Every pitch now feels like a gamble, and the numbers reflect a shadow of the ace he seemed destined to be. Watching a pitcher of his caliber labor this way is a sobering reminder of just how razor-thin the margin for error is at baseball's highest level. Carlos Rodon, while steadier than Fried, has also shown cracks. Though he flashes brilliance, his ERA has crept higher than anyone anticipated, and the rotation still lacks the cohesion that once made them a juggernaut. Young arms like Will Warren and Luis Gil are still adjusting to the big league grind, which only magnifies the inconsistencies at the top. And then there's the bullpen, supposed to be the Yankees' saving grace. Coming into the season, it was stacked with strikeout potential and raw talent. On paper, it looked formidable. On the field, however, it has been catastrophic. Relievers expected to dominate late innings are now struggling to survive a single frame without imploding. Camilo. Doval epitomizes the gap between expectation and reality. With the Giants, he was electric. An all-star caliber, closer firing 100 mm of heaters paired with a lethal slider. But in New York, nothing has clicked. His ERA has ballooned, strikeout rates have plummeted, and in a mere handful of appearances, he's looked rattled and unrecognizable. Beyond the statistics, the body language tells its own story. The tension is palpable, every pitch feels forced, and opportunities slip away. Yankee Stadium, with its blinding lights and suffocating expectations, is no place for hesitation. Even the most gifted players can crumble beneath its weight. Jake Bird, another bullpen acquisition meant to provide depth, has already been demoted after disastrous outings that left his ERA in ruins. The grand bullpen experiment, meant to reinvent the Yankees' late-inning dominance, feels like it has backfired, leaving just a few trustworthy arms such as David Bednar to shoulder an impossible burden. Bednar has been one of the lone bright spots, but even he is stretched thin, asked to carry far more than anticipated. As a whole, the season has become a grim reflection of unrealized potential. A team that was built to challenge for the AL East crown is instead battling inconsistency, underperformance, and injuries. The identity of this roster feels fractured. The once ironclad confidence of the pitching staff now splintered. Each loss amplifies the chorus of questions. What went wrong? Can it even be fixed? Manager Aaron Boone and his staff are under a microscope. Every rotation, shuffle, and bullpen call dissected by fans who are running out of patience. The truth is, playing for the Yankees is unlike playing for any other franchise. This is not merely a ball club, it's an institution, a dynasty, a symbol of sustained excellence. Every misstep is magnified, every flaw illuminated under the harshest spotlight in sports. Some players rise under that glare, others unravel. Right now, too many are faltering. The consequences are obvious. Games that should be routine wins are collapsing into nerve-wracking nail-biters. Leads disintegrate in innings that should have been sealed. Small mistakes snowball into defining moments. Even the offense, which has delivered at times, cannot continuously compensate for the volatility of the pitching staff. And yet, there is still hope. Baseball, by its very nature, is a long, grueling season. Adjustments can be made. Slumping. Pitchers can rediscover their form. Strategies can be retooled. The talent undeniably exists. Even underperformers like Duvall and Bird have shown flashes of the ability that once made them prized acquisitions. For Yankees fans, patience is painful, but necessary. Every start, every relief appearance still carries the possibility of redemption, the chance to reclaim the aura of dominance that once defined the pinstripes remains alive. And if history has proven anything, it's that the Yankees are never truly out of the fight. A pitcher capable of altering the entire course of a game with just a handful of pitches. That's the kind of weapon Camilo Doval was expected to be. On paper, the fit was flawless. His prior seasons showcased a blistering fastball that regularly touched triple digits, paired with a biting slider that made hitters look foolish. In San Francisco, he was a dominant closer, the kind of arm you trusted in the highest leverage moments to slam the door shut. The theory was airtight, but baseball doesn't bend to theory alone. In the Bronx, Doval has faltered badly. His ERA has swelled, his strikeouts have dipped, and the swing and miss arsenal that once defined him has all but evaporated. Each outing chips away at his confidence, and watching him grind through innings that should be routine has been a painful sight for fans who expected instant dominance. And he's not alone. Jake Bird, another mid-season acquisition, meant to fortify. The bullpen has suffered a similar fate. Brought in to add depth and reliability, Bird instead collapsed under the unforgiving spotlight. After only a handful of shaky appearances, he was shipped back down to the minors. His ERA inflated and his effectiveness erased. Together, Doval and Bird illustrate a harsh reality. A bullpen that was supposed to be fearsome now feels fragile, unpredictable, and prone to implosion. The contrast between the promise of their arrival and the grim reality on the field is jarring. The ripple effects are everywhere. Leads that should be safe evaporate in an instant. Late innings dissolve into tense nail-biters, and even the clubhouse morale seems to sag under the strain. Part of the problem is adaptation. Transitioning to the Yankees is unlike joining any other team in baseball. This isn't just a franchise. It's an institution draped in history, expectation, and relentless scrutiny. Every pitch is dissected, every inning analyzed, every mistake magnified. Success in another uniform doesn't automatically translate beneath the lights of Yankee Stadium, and many pitchers, no matter how gifted, stumble under that weight. Doval, Bird, and others have had to endure this trial by fire, and so far, the adjustment has been rocky at best. This isn't merely about physical ability. It's about the psychological battle of performing for a team where failure is rarely forgiven, and the pressure is unrelenting. Manager Aaron Boone has found himself squarely in the crosshairs as well. His every decision, when to pull a starter, which reliever to summon, how to structure the bullpen, sits under the microscope. In New York, there is no cushion for error. When results go sideways, the criticism is instant and merciless. Boone's handling of the pitching staff has been questioned time and again, and whether fairly or not, the frustrations of a fan base expecting dominance have turned him into a lightning rod. Some argue he's too lenient with struggling arms. Others claim he's out of options entirely. But the truth is simple. The bullpen's failures and Boone's strategy are now inseparably intertwined. Even the rotation hasn't been spared. Max Fried, who opened the season looking every bit the ace, has since been undermined by injuries, blister issues, and an alarming dip in command that has destabilized the staff. Carlos Rodon has been steadier, but still inconsistent enough to turn otherwise winnable games into unnecessary battles. The result? A team where no inning feels safe, no lead feels secure, and no game feels certain. This is not the formula of a contender. Every decision, every mound visit, every pitch carries outsized significance. When the bullpen falters and the rotation wobbles, small mistakes snowball into larger crises that shift the entire season's trajectory. The mental toll is enormous. For pitchers like Doval and Bird, the psychological burden of performing in New York, the relentless fan expectations, the media glare, the shadow of Yankee history, can feel suffocating. Some arms thrive in that cauldron, others crack beneath it. Watching a pitcher labor through innings, struggling to locate pitches or regain rhythm, isn't just about mechanics. It's a reflection of the deeper battle of trying to acclimate to an environment where every misstep reverberates. And yet, even amid the turbulence, glimmers of hope remain. The raw talent is still there. The arms are capable of dominance when locked in. Adjustments can be made and confidence can be rebuilt. The Yankees' challenge is to steady the ship, to nurse injured starters back to health, shore up a faltering bullpen, and restore the confidence of pitchers who have lost their edge. Thank you guys. See you next video.